Okay, let's take a look at a couple of these division problems, dividing polynomials. The first one we have here is problem number 93. We have 5x to the fourth minus 3x squared plus x plus 1 divided by x squared plus 2. All right, so I'm going to set this up for division, for long division. So I'll have x plus x squared plus 2. Now we have a missing term there. We have the x squared, but we're missing the x to the first. So I'm going to add a 0x to the first into that polynomial. All right, and our dividend is 5x to the fourth. Again, we have a missing term of x to the third, so I'm going to add that in there. Minus 3x squared plus x plus 1. Now from here, we will start our long division. Our first step is to divide the first term on the inside divided by the first term on the outside. And that will tell us what needs to go up top first. So 5x to the fourth divided by x squared gives us 5x squared. So since we have three terms out here, I'm going to come over the third term and write 5x squared. So divide. Once you get that term up top, multiply. So you're going to take the 5x squared and multiply it times the trinomial on the outside. So 5x squared times x squared gives us 5x to the fourth. Five x squared times 0x, 0x to the third. 5x squared times 2, 10x squared. After you multiply, you change your signs, subtract the polynomial or change all of the signs. It goes negative, negative, negative. 5x to the fourth minus 5x to the fourth would cancel out. 0x to the third minus 0x to the third would cancel out. Negative 3x squared minus 10x squared, or plus negative 10x squared, is negative 13x squared. Now again, I have three terms out there, so I need to bring down my next two terms, so I would have three terms to match up with it when I go through the process again. So we're back to step one. We need to figure out what goes up top. So we're going to divide the negative 13x squared divided by the first term on the outside of x squared. That tells us that negative 13 should go up top next. After you divide, you multiply. So we're going to take the negative 13 and multiply it times the outside. Negative 13x squared minus or plus 0x. Negative 13 times 2, negative 26. Again, that next step in your long division is to subtract, which would change all the signs in that polynomial. So in this case, they were all negative or minus, so they will all become positive or plus. That cancels. 1x plus 0x is 1x. 1 plus 26 is 27. So I get 5x squared minus 13 with a remainder of x plus 27. Okay, so divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, start over. Okay, so if you need to pause the video, this would be a good time to pause it to look at this particular problem. Okay, let's look at the second problem we have here. We have 2x to the fourth minus 3x to the third plus x plus 1 divided by 2x squared plus x plus 1. So the 2x squared plus x plus 1, that's my divisor that goes on the outside of my division bar, and I don't have any missing terms. I have x squared, x to the first, and no x's, so I'm good. My dividend, 2x to the fourth minus 3x to the third. I'm missing an x squared, so I'm going to add in a 0x squared plus x to the first plus 1. So when you write these, write your polynomials, all of the exponents have to be represented. So if I start with x to the fourth, I have to go in order down x to the third, x squared, x to the first, and so on. All right, so let's start with the first step here. Divide the first term on the inside, divided by the first term on the outside to see what would go up top. So the 2's would cancel there. X to the fourth divided by x squared is simply x squared. Again, I have 3 terms on the outside, so I'm going to come over here to the third term and write x squared above it. Distribute x squared times 2x squared, 2x to the fourth. X squared times 1x, positive 1x to the third. X squared times 1, positive 1x squared. Okay, after we multiply, we change the signs, so they were all positive in this case. So they will all go negative. So 2x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth would cancel out. Negative 3x to the third minus 1x to the third gives us negative 4x to the third. 0x squared minus 1x squared gives us negative 1x squared. Bring down the plus x. That gives us 3 terms. Start the process over. First term on the inside here, negative 4x to the third, divided by the first term on the outside, 2x squared, to see what goes up top. So negative 2x. Take the negative 2x and distribute. Negative 2x times 2x squared is negative 2x to the third. Negative 2x times 1x is negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times 1 is negative 2x. And forgive me, that should be a negative 4x to the third there. All right, change your signs. Plus, plus, plus. That cancels. Negative 1x squared plus 2x squared is 1x squared. 1x plus 2x is 3x. Bring down your last term, the positive 1. Start the process over one more time. So again, the first term on the inside, which is 1x squared, right here, divided by the 2x squared. Well, the x squares will cancel each other out, so I'm just left with 1/2. So take the positive 1/2, distribute. 1/2 times 2x squared. 1/2 of 2 is simply 1x squared. 1/2 times 1x. 1/2 times 1 is simply 1/2 x. And 1/2 times 1 is simply 1/2. Change your signs. Negative, negative, negative. X squared minus x squared cancels out. 3 minus 1/2 gives us 2.5. Or you can write that 5/2. 1 minus 1/2 gives us 1/2. So we end up with, that would be our remainder there, x squared minus 2x plus 1/2 with the remainder of 5/2x or 2.5x, either way, plus 1/2. All right, hopefully that video was helpful. Thank you.